I'm joined once again by Rafael Lovato Jr., who is going to be taking on John Salter at Bellator 198 on April 28th. Rafael, how are you today?
And I'm doing great. Sorry for doing the interview in my car. Is nonstop right now between training camp and traveling and everything on my plate. It's hard to pin me down in one place for too long. So sorry about that, but I'm happy to be here talking with you.
No need to apologize. I've done interviews in all types of places. A sauna. I've had someone who did it like right by a lake. Like there's lots of different ways that we can make these happen. So either way, I appreciate you taking the time today. And it's been a couple months since we last saw you compete. Of course, it was back in December when you got that win over Chris Honeycutt. And I know you got a decision in that one. Everyone always likes a finish, but you must have been pretty happy with your performance, taking out a pretty hot prospect in Chris Honeycutt.
I was disappointed at first. I felt like I could have done so much better, and I hated that we were getting stuck. I feel like he was kind of stalling the fight a little bit against the cage, and I hate when I feel like I'm in something, in a fight or in a match that's not exciting. I always want to be exciting, and I'm always hunting the finish. But as the emotions came down. Looking back on it, I am very thankful that it did go the full time frame, because that was a lot of experience that I gained inside there. And it allowed me to understand a lot more. What my strengths, what my weaknesses are, what I need to focus on going forward. And, some of those areas where I was getting stuck, there's a situation I hadn't been in before. And so it allows me to understand better what my future opponents could be thinking, strategy wise against me. And, so overall, I learned a lot, just makes me better. And, I'm thankful for that experience, but definitely moving forward, I want to get the finish every time. And don't want to be involved in anything that someone might look back and say, "Oh, that was boring." I don't want that to be me.
Did it feel weird at all, just because most of your wins are, quick submissions? Like, is it kind of, going through your head? You're like, wow, what's going on here? I'm not used to this.
Well, a part of me had the thought that it could go the distance because he is such a great wrestler. I knew it would be difficult for me to take him down. And also he's shorter than me too. So it's harder to get in and underneath a guy that's shorter than you and such a high level wrestler. So, I just wasn't prepared for him to he wasn't trying to take me down. He wasn't standing up with me so much. He was pinning me against the cage and kind of taking time off the clock and things like that. So I was a little surprised. I wasn't expecting that. Chris is very aggressive in all of his other fights. I think it was just the stylistic matchup. He didn't necessarily want to be on the ground with me, and he wasn't extremely confident in his stand-up with me either once he felt my reach and everything. So, that's how things worked out. But, like I said, overall, 15 minutes with a tough guy like that, getting the experience in the Bellator cage, I am happy with how it went down, and I know I'm going to be that much better moving forward.
And that fight was back in December, and here we are talking about a fight in April. Did you want this much time off, or were you looking to get in there a little bit sooner?
No, I needed a little bit. I had 3 fights last year. Pretty much my whole year was like fight camp after fight camp. I wanted to enjoy the holidays a little bit. And, basically what I did to keep myself, busy and focused is I did a grappling match in February, a grappling super fight, just to pump up the adrenaline a little bit and, get in shape, get things kicked off, but not having to be in such a stressful fight camp, environment so early in the year after doing, 3 fights last year. So I feel like April was a perfect time. And, is there a better Bellator card, to be on right now? So everything worked out perfectly. The fight I wanted on an excellent card. I'm so pumped. I think it's destiny.
Yeah, and it is an awesome matchup. I really like this fight. You're undefeated, and John Salter, he's got a 15-3 record. That is not easy to amass. How do you feel like you match up against him in this fight? Obviously, you have the jiu-jitsu coming into this one, and Salter's pretty good everywhere. How do you sort of feel like you match up against him?
You know, I think in a lot of ways it's kind of similar to my last fight. But you know, I mean, Consultor is a wrestler, but he has way better jiu-jitsu. You know, he's a great finisher. He finishes everybody. Every single one of his victories are by a finish. So, you know, I really I like that about his style. I respect him a lot as a competitor, and his jiu-jitsu. You know, I am a jiu-jitsu guy, but you know, I have the eye. You know, I can see that guy has good jiu-jitsu, and so you know, I like the way he fights, and you know, he's on a roll right now. I think a 7-fight win streak, undefeated in Bellator. Um, so you know, I see it as a very tough matchup, but you know, I feel like because his strong area is my strongest area, um, you know, I'm confident that that you know we match up well for me, and you know I'm just going to be better everywhere. That's always the game plan, to just be better everywhere, and no matter where the fight goes, I believe I will have the advantage.
And who are some of your main training partners that are helping you get ready for this fight?
Well, I have my crew here in Oklahoma. You know, great jujitsu and wrestling here. My students all have great jujitsu, and Oklahoma is a wrestling state. So, you know, the typical crew out here, all my guys at my school, and you know, I'm getting ready to go to Brazil on Monday. I go to Brazil for every fight to train there in Curitiba, the south of Brazil, where it's a very, very heavy Muay Thai influenced city. It's the home of shootbox. So many legends came out of Curitiba, and I have my teacher, my coach down there, Andre Dita, and his brother Mauricio lives in Toronto, Canada, and I just got back from Toronto a week ago. So I've spent a couple weeks with Mauricio already. Now I'm going to go to Brazil, spend a couple weeks with Dita, train with all the monsters down there, and you know, come home, fine tune, and then I'll be ready to go.
And how's the weight cut going? Has that process started already? I know we're a ways away from the fight, but I imagine you know you're starting to watch what you eat.
You know, I don't like to call it a cut. It's just a clean life. You know what I mean? It's just you know, I have to get a little more strict on my diet. But I already weighed 201 yesterday, so I mean, I'm way ahead of schedule. A month out, already low 200s. It's not going to be a problem. I actually did a really good job this past holiday season, where sometimes I can get all the way up to like 220. I barely got up to 210. So, you know, I've been in the routine, fight mentality, you know, for quite some time, and I'm in great shape already. You know, to have 3 more hard weeks before fight week, you know, I'm going to be a machine.
Good stuff. How do you see this fight playing out on April 28th?
Definitely not going to go the distance. You know, he's a finisher. I'm a finisher, but I got my first decision. So now I want to get a finish so bad, you know, and really make a statement on this card. You know, such a great event to be a part of. So my goal is to be the fighter that everyone goes home talking about, thinking about, you know, when they turn off the TV, whenever they drive home. You know, I want to be the standout of the night. So that's going to come by a finish. You know, I can't say how. I just can say that I'm ready, you know, for all aspects of the fight, and I'm always going to be looking for that finish.
Do you look at this fight as sort of a title eliminator? Sorry, just with the fact that I said, you know, both of you guys have really great records. I would imagine the winner of this gets a title shot. Is that kind of what you're thinking here?
That's the wording that Bellator is telling me. They're saying this is a #1 contender fight, the only fight that really makes sense for each of us. And you know, Carvalho and Musasi face off in May, so it's the perfect time. You know, get this victory, sit back, see who wins that one, and then fight the winner in the fall. You know, that's the plan. That's what I dreamed about. That's what I envisioned. As soon as I signed with Bellator, I said my goal, you know, to my family, my coaches, my manager, I said 4 fights, and then I want a shot at the title, and it's all happening. So, you know, this feels like destiny, and I don't think there's any other it doesn't get bigger than Salter unless it is a title fight. That's how I feel. If it wasn't for Masasi, it would probably be Salter fighting Carvalho in May.
Yeah.
I think that's the only logical next step.
Who wins that fight? Just playing, kind of taking the the fighter cap off and the analyst cap on. How do you see that fight playing out?
Man, with Masasi's tough fight against Flamenco, I'm kind of leaning towards Carvalho on this one. Carvalho sharp, great Muay Thai, and I feel like he's on that roll. So if I had to bet, I would probably bet on that. But Masasi's got so much experience, and he's been a top 5, top 10 middleweight for over a decade probably. So either way, it's going to be a great fight and an honor to face either one of them. So I'm just going to enjoy and think about Salter only right now.
And this was a great interview, Rafael. I always enjoy talking to you. Just thanks again for the time today. Just remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout-outs or anything like that, the floor is yours.
Yeah, sure. Social media, I'm really easy to find. Lovato Jr. BJJ. That's LOVATO JR BJJ on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.com/Lovato Jr. BJJ is my athlete page. I appreciate all the support. My sponsors, War Tribe Gear, On It, Brookover Enterprises, and White Equipment Rental. All the fans, everybody that's been with me for this journey, I really appreciate all the love. So thank you guys.
What's up, fight fans? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to see even more interviews with your favorite UFC and Bellator fighters. We've also got coverage at events, including post-fight press conferences and media scrums. And if you like this video, check out the video to my right. It's worth your time.